Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry for being so late. It really, now I was 20 minutes busy with clicking myself 1,000 times through this, trying to start this live video. This is really something I'm sorry. I'm still a little bit confused because, hey, please write something into the comments so that I know that you are here and, that you see me and that you hear me. This is now really important for me because this is my second live, and I really get to have to figure this out. Last week or 2 weeks ago I did it the first time, as some of you maybe know, and this time it's the second time, and this time it was really absolutely crazy. Well, okay, give me a moment. I have to catch my breath because this was really crazy now. Of course, it's a little bit confusing, you know, because I started this live video. Perfect, thank you, Camelilu. Thank you very much. It's very good to hear that I am audible and visible, that I get your feedback. Of course, maybe next time I do it again with my Anja Schäfer profile, because, you know, I'm the administrator of the Omnec Onec website, and those of you who therefore expect, hey, Mariko, hi, who expected Omnec to be here, of course, it's everywhere, you know, about Omnec Onec with Anja Schäfer. Omnec Onec is sitting behind me in the bookshelf. Her presence is spiritually here, so to say, tonight. Of course, she's not in person here because Omnec is she lives in America, she lives in Missouri, and I am her companion, co-worker, friend, since around 25 years. And so I am for those of you who don't know Omnec, who don't know me, of course, I'm going into some short introduction right now to introduce ourselves. Brett, are you there too? Because I was just switching between the profiles, and he wrote a message to me asking where we two ladies are, and so now I don't know if you got it as well, that you are here now, and I hope you are not too disappointed not to see Omnec live. Of course, she's not in Germany and I'm in Germany, so. But anyway, this is just the way it is, you know. I decided to go more into public now, or at least I give it a try, you know. This is my second live, as I said, and so I have to see how everything develops, how the reception is, how the interest is, because I'm not here to replace or to represent Omnec. I'm here to help sharing the teachings and the message that Omnec brought to Earth, you know. Because Omnec is one of the purest bringers of love and light and real spiritual teachings. And for soul reasons, I'm close to her and I'm her companion and her friend. And it was, of course, a soul arrangement. It has been a soul arrangement. And I had my purpose, and I still seem to have some purpose with sharing her message and her and supporting her mission. But Omnec personally is retired, you know. So since I cannot really know and see who is now watching, I can only see a number, and I see a couple of highs. I'm just starting this video now, 20 minutes later than it was scheduled, but this is, I really have to do it again and see what was wrong, you know. I really could not start the video, but anyway, now I'm live, I see it now. So, welcome everybody. I'm really happy to see you. I mean, I don't see you actually, but you can see me and you can hear me. I'm very happy and very excited to introduce Omnec Onec tonight. Here in Germany it is tonight. I don't know what your time is. I guess if you're watching from the USA, it's probably morning, some morning hours or lunchtime or something. Yuriko and Sao. Oh, I'm happy to see some friends in the chat. It's not rolling by itself. I was just scrolling manually. I thought that if somebody writes something that it scrolls by itself. Yeah, there's so many strange things to find out. So since I have no idea what your interest is and what you know and what you would like to know. Omnec Onec is known as the woman from Venus. She, her life story, her autobiography is very unusual, very strange, and for probably most of the people worldwide, something that they really cannot understand, or that they cannot really believe in, that it can be really true. Since there are really still many misunderstandings, because many people, even those people who read her book, still sometimes said, well, when she came as a soul and entered into this other body, then what was it again and how did this happen? So the first thing I would like to say is that Omnec is not a walk-in. Some of you might know the term walk-in. Walk-in means that a soul leaves a physical body so that a different soul, another soul, can enter this physical body. This is something that has not happened with Omnec. Omnec says in her autobiography, and she told in her autobiography, that she manifested her own physical body on the astral plane of this planet Venus in our solar system. So she explains in her history, in her story, in her autobiography, that there is life on other dimensions, and that there is life on Venus, not on the physical plane, but on the other dimensions. Meanwhile, I have heard from other sources that there seem to be also life on the physical. This is something that I'm not personally aware of, that I don't know. I just know Omnec's story. I'm not aware of any other information so closely what else is happening on the physical Venus. But according to Omnec, there is life, there is a full society in a higher dimension of Venus, on Venus. And this is called the astral plane. This is called the astral dimension. It's a dimension that we have certainly around every other planet as well, and that we as physical beings have as well. We have an astral body, and according to Omnec teachings, the astral energy gives us the ability to have feelings, to have emotions. So this is the emotional plane. And according to Omnec, there is an astral society on Venus, probably residing there for a very, very long time, probably for millions of years, according to Earth terms, or compared to Earth terms. And yeah, and there's, you know, this whole scenario is very complex and very interesting. One of the reasons why Omnec came to Earth, or why she was brought to Earth, is to be a spiritual teacher, to be on Earth, to share information, to bring information, like other spiritual teachers, masters. But most of the spiritual teachers or masters on Earth of course, went through the incarnation, the birth process, like most of us or all of us as we are sitting here, you know. We all, those who are feeling a connection to this kind of information that I'm talking here about, we all have soul memories. We have this feeling of, well, there must be something more than just this life. There is certainly life on other planets. Or some people even have this feeling of being a walk-in, or they know a walk-in, or they know other souls who have a connection to other dimensions or planets or solar systems in the universe, or to extraterrestrial beings. So this is just the information that's not in the mass media, as most of you know, because the mass media belongs to a different kind of system or energy on this planet still. The spiritual information, most of the spiritual teachers and masters are not present in the daily news, right? There's usually different information brought from these channels. So for those people who are very, very closely connected to the usual system, to the structures, to the government, or to these structures that ruling the planet, or the monetary system, the economic systems, for those, these kind of information that I'm talking about now here is something that is like a fairy tale or utopia or dream, or people who have some, you know, somehow lost their mind, or they must have some crazy attitude or so. But since you are here now watching and listening to me, you belong certainly to those people who know that this kind of information is true, or who feel that there must be something about it, that maybe you're not sure if it's true or not, but you are maybe curious, interested. Whatever your motivation is to be interested in it, it's your soul, of course, you know. This is what Omnec always said when she started lectures and workshops, especially when she started workshops. She always used to ask the people, what do you think? Why are you here? What brought you here? Why are you here? And then people always said, well, I read your book. I saw you in the TV. I saw a poster with your face and I felt like, wow, this woman looks interesting. I want to see her live, and so on. And then she said, you know, everything is beautiful and wonderful, and thank you for being here. But eventually the reason why you have come is your soul brought you here, because your soul is longing for memories. Your soul is longing for information. Your soul is what you really are, and what you want is to remember who you truly are. This is what it's all about eventually. Eventually, we are all here to remember who we truly are. And since most of us, or all of us, maybe except for Omnec, you know, I don't know if there's other people on Earth who were brought from a different dimension with their own physical body to Earth. Maybe there are others. I cannot say if that Omnec is the absolutely only one. But she's the only one that I personally know, and she's the only one that I heard of. And of course, this alone is not the thing. I mean, this alone is not the most important thing, although it is important and it makes her somehow special, of course, in a way. But what makes her really different is only her perception, is only her soul remembrance, her knowledge, and the amount, so to say, of unconditional love that she brought with her, and that she is therefore able to retain, that she could retain. She could retain her full memory, she could retain her knowledge, her wisdom, her connection to source energy. So, and she brought so much love, she brought teachings, she brought wisdom, and this is what she has been sharing for many, many years, for a couple of decades eventually. It began she was brought in 55. This is what she said when she was a 7-year-old child. So you can count yourself, right? I mean, it's pretty long time ago from our perspective. Omnec said that she was brought in a 7-year-old child body to replace a different girl who had the same genetics like she had. So they were, from a soul perspective and physical perspective, like twins. And they also had a twin soul memory. I mean, they're not twin souls, not like dual souls or something like that. Every soul is in itself whole. Because this is part of Omnec's teachings, that a soul is always complete, that there are no soul parts, or that there is not dual soul here and the other dual soul is somewhere else, and unless I have found my other dual soul, I'm not fulfilled and I cannot find happiness and freedom and joy. This is not what Omnec teaches. Omnec always said that the soul is in itself fully complete, a full complete entity or being. But of course there are soul connections and soul friends and soul groups and all these kind of things. And according to Omnec, she had a karmic situation, still a karmic bond to a different soul, because of, this is history, this is part of her book. So there was still some karmic ties which connected these two. And this gave Omnec the ability to be brought to earth in a body that was just like hers. Because the thing is that Omnec, as a soul, accompanied the soul of this other girl during her birth process on earth. And so she was able to receive the same genetic imprint. So they had the soul connection. And due to this situation that Omnec accompanied the other soul during her birth process on earth, she received the genetic imprint as well. This gave her the possibility, the opportunity to look alike, like twins. And this was necessary so that they could be replaced, you know. So Omnec was brought, the other girl was on earth, and the whole story is in the book. I could go into this more deeply, but I don't know if this is now the most important thing to share, how this all exactly happened. I mean, it's, of course, I did not witness this, you know, I just heard it, I read it in Omnec's book, and since she has been saying the same story 100 or 1,000 times, she never changed her story, you know. In 30, 40, 50 years, she always said the same. And this makes it like, you know, it's what happened. It's, if it happened or not, I cannot say, because I was not there. It's something that Omnec has been telling this way since she's here. That she was brought and that she replaced this other girl. And she grew up instead of her because this other girl died. And Omnec was then growing up with the same family, in the same family structures, to complete her karmic cycles. This was one of the reasons why she decided to go into this whole thing, because she was asked by her masters to, if she would do this, if she would come to Earth to bring information and to for other reasons. And one of these reasons that were most important for herself, besides that it's an adventure, it has been an adventure, and Omnec is an adventurous, very courageous soul. And this other reason was that they told her that she could fulfill her karmic debts and her karmic, everything that was still open, you know, these loose ends. they told her, the masters told her that when she decided to do this, when she decided to go on this adventure, to manifest the physical body, to come to Earth and to live here, that it would be her last lifetime, because then she would have the opportunity to fulfill everything that's still open. So her life, when you read her autobiography, From Venus I Came, and the second part, Angels Don't Cry, was really hard. I mean, you can maybe you can imagine how it must feel to have a full consciousness, to have an open heart, to have the awareness of oneness, to be aware of love, of creation. Omnec was brought here with this full memory intact, so she was, even as a child, of course she did not talk about it as a child. They told her not to talk about it. They warned her that it would be too difficult and too dangerous, that people would not believe her anyway. But from her feeling, from her heart, from her soul point of view, she had this whole memory. And it was very painful to go through all these experiences on Earth, because she was brought in 55, as I said. There was still a lot of racism. There were religious fanatics. The family structures were very difficult. So it was very, very intense and very difficult. She went through rape. She went through so much hardship that most of the people on Earth would probably have suffered from severe damage after having experienced all this hardship. With her, it was something different, because she had this soul strength, you know, she had this mission, and she had this knowledge, and she had this compassion. And plus, according to her own autobiography, she was taken to a spaceship, to a UFO. Of course, she was brought to Earth with a UFO by her, accompanied by her uncle Odin. And she said that every couple of years, 7 years or so, she was also taken again on a spaceship, examined, and physically and emotionally she was healed again, so that she could continue. These kind of treatments stopped 10 or 15 years ago, but until then, she said she went through these healing processes every once in a while, and plus she always had this contact, of course, telepathic contact. She said that she always could contact her people, and that she was contacted as well. And so this contact with the higher dimensions, with these people, with her uncle, with her Venusian family, with the masters, always gave her again the strength and the comfort to continue to go through this life, because it was her decision to go through this life until it ends by itself. It was not her mission to be taken back again, or to take her life with her own hands or something like that. It was part of her life, and it still is part of her life. It's part of her mission to be here, to be physically present, although she's not now here with me present, but she used to be physically present for the public as well, many decades, for many years. And she wrote her book, and it was published, and she gave lectures and workshops. So all this was part of her life plan. It was part of her purpose, and so it's all fulfilled in a way, you know. So she has the right to feel retired. I mean, it's absolutely okay, because she really gave everything. Her life was absolutely difficult, and it was also very fulfilling, because she could fulfill everything that she was here for. She could inform her people about the difficulties on Earth that people went through. This was one of the other reasons why she was brought to Earth, because it was difficult for the other dimensional beings and for our forefathers, for those who contributed to this planet a lot. to the earth, with colonies, with colonization, with everything, you know, and they have been observing the spiritual hierarchy, I mean, and you know, all these terms, right? Galactic Federation of Light, and there's so many benevolent beings from other planets and from other dimensions and so on, and not all of them, of course, are nice, but many of them are very kind and very nice, and they love the earth, and they love the people on earth, and they love the whole nature on earth, because they were part of our development, part of our evolution. And in the last thousands of years, I mean, you all know probably what happened, right? I mean, in positive terms, I mean, we have still a lot of separation, control, and manipulation on this whole earth. A lot of destruction. And I'm not talking about nature catastrophes. I'm talking about man-made catastrophes. And this is as far as I heard it, you know. Of course, this is all, take it or leave it, you know. Maybe it gives you some idea of this whole picture. Maybe it doesn't. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me. You know that I'm willing to share more information if it is interesting for people. Yeah, and as far as I'm informed, these benevolent beings, the other dimensional beings and everybody, they have observed the evolution on Earth in the last, let's say, 100 years especially. And they tried to bring information, they tried to bring teachers, they tried to help people to evolve spiritually, to grow spiritually, to ascend, to realize themselves as souls again. And it was very difficult because the energy on Earth has been so much into separation and into control. So this negative, if you want to say, negative, controlling, manipulating energy has been ruling the earth and the societies and the structures and the governments and the religions. So that the little people who were brought, who came to earth through the birth process, you know, usually they forget everything in the first place in the moment when they are born. And then they are born to parents and societies who have not realized their own true self as well yet. So it's very difficult, and it has been very difficult for these spiritual teachers and beings to help the people on earth to evolve. And according to Omnec and according to what I know, they really felt like we have to do something when mankind started to develop things like really destructive bombs and atomic war bombs and stuff like that. So they started to develop technology, which was eventually enabling the people, those in power, to even destroy everything, destroy nature, destroy even the whole planet. And as far as I'm informed, they is now the spiritual hierarchy. I just simply use this term. Those who are the overseers of the planet and the evolution. And they felt like, well, we have to do something, because we cannot allow the destruction of this whole planet. It's too valuable, and we cannot allow the destruction to that extent. This goes too far, so to say, you know. There's still so much negative stuff happening on this planet which we cannot control, it's not our task to interfere, you know, because those benevolent beings, they of course are they have this law of non-interference, as you maybe know, right? So they're not allowed to just land here and bring brainwash the people. This is not soul evolution. Soul evolution has to come from within and not from outside. So those people who are still hoping that somebody's coming to take them to a better place, in a better time, somewhere else, it's probably not going to happen that way, you know, because Omnec always said, well, then you go somewhere else and you create the same shit as you did on Earth, or what? Why should they take you somewhere else? It's our own level of consciousness that has to develop and to evolve. It's our own soul that has to remember its true existence. It's not something that can come from the outside to rescue us. But what can come, of course, are teachers. And this is what has been happening a lot in the last 100 years, so to say, or maybe it's more started. I mean, the atom stuff started, I think, in 1930 or something. And then the spiritual and esoteric development started approximately at the same time. There were some teachers brought who already started bringing new information, remembering people, and it was more and more and more. There was one wave after the other. As you know, then in the last 10, 20 years, all of a sudden they are called indigo children and crystal children. Of course, I'm from the generation before. I'm from 1970, so I'm a little older than these indigo children. But since my soul obviously decided to be close to Omnec's soul, I'm also part of this whole picture, although, of course, I'm not born with full awareness. You know, I went through the same birth process like probably most of you. And I started to realize my own self when I was 30 at the side of Omnec, you know, because when I was when I met her and when I spent time with her, it of course boosted my own spiritual development extremely, and I received this whole information that I am a soul, and I was allowed to go through this complete self-realization process. And Omnec always said that we are here also teaching people, and I'm sure that I was one of those, you know. I was, for some reasons, I was the one of those who were given these teachings as well, or the soul memory, because otherwise I could not sit here and talk about it like that. I could not. If it was just mental information, I could maybe give a lecture about Omnec or so, but it would not have the same energy, it would not have the same quality, because since I have been so close to her and to these teachings and this energy, it's part of my own system. It's of course, I'm still Anya and I will remain Anya. I'm not Omnec, and I'm not transforming into Omnec or something like that. But you know, in the essence, this spiritual information belongs to all of us. And it's like there are teachers coming, or there are teachers that are brought, like Omnec, she was brought to Earth, who are here, among others, to remember other souls that they are souls. And this is, of course, a process that is very, very important, very, very, very valuable. And it has probably been happening a lot more in the last decades than in the 1,000 or 2,000 years before. And this is why, as I said, the transformation process of the Earth, they needed to find solutions for this process to raise the frequency of the planet. And this was one solution to examine what's really the problems here, to find out more. And this is one reason why, among others, Omnec was brought here, because then they could observe what happens. They could observe her own life. They could observe through her the difficulties that people have emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And this helped a lot, you know. It's like Omnec was sending information out of her own physical experience on Earth. She was sending information to her people, and it helped them to figure out what's really the difficulty here, and to find solutions which could be brought further. And I'm sure that many other teachers came afterwards, also through the birth process, and that they found more ways, one-to-one ways, you know, because on the physical perspective, of course, it's very helpful to have physical persons teaching you. Not everybody is telepathic or is channeling higher dimensional beings or so. This is something else. But when you have somebody in your physical environment and surroundings who has the information and who has the soul memory and who has this full information intact, and yet still is a normal physical being, it touches you on way more levels. It can touch you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, on every level. And when you are really ready, then you receive this impact of truth and light and love. And from then on, it starts to become your own reality and your own truth. And yeah, and this makes you somehow your own creator of your own life, and it helps you help others and this earth. Yeah, I will look into the comments. And I will try to read the questions after this live more thoroughly, because now, as you know, I'm sitting here by myself, and I cannot read or answer everything now, but my plan is to create videos with answering the questions and uploading them. Oh, Tony said Omnec Onec's teaching is right. That's true. Loves her teaching. She's a lovely soul. Oh, gibt es das auch in Deutsch bald? Ja, das gibt es auch bald in Deutsch. I'm so happy to connect to Anja and read Omnec. Thank you. Ich bin auch von der Venus, sagt Evelyn. Evelyn says, I'm from Venus as well. Oh, and David Purnell, I love your creative art. I sometimes see these images. I always think like, well, how's this man doing this? It's really amazing. It's fantastic. You met Omnec in 76. Wow, that's a long time ago. Really? Oh, we have to connect. I would love to hear from that. When in 76, I was 6 years old. So this was many, many years before I met Omnec. Oh, there's some Germans. Einen schönen Abend zusammen. Yes. And Yuriko, I love you. Hey, Yuriko. Oh, thank you so much, Yuriko. She says it's a beautiful experience to be able to hear the teachings of Omnec through your birds. I thank you so much, my dear, because it's really still exciting for me. I love it so much, and I feel like I want to share these teachings more. But of course, you know, I had this crazy technology problem today, and yeah, I'm really dependent on the positive reaction from people. I really must admit that, because, you know, when you ask me questions, when you say something nice, or send me little hearts like Krista, for example, or something, it really encourages me to continue with this, because I know this is really not for everybody. And now I'm not even Omnec. I mean, I'm not saying I'm sorry I'm not Omnec, but I can understand it, that most of the people, thousands of people worldwide, would love to see her personally. But what can we do? She is not into technology. She does not use a computer. She does not use a smartphone. She said everything that she had to share. I cannot what can I do? I cannot fly her with a UFO from Missouri to sit here next to me and and I'm not channeling Omnec. This is one important thing Omnec always said. Even when I'm gone, when I'm not in this physical world anymore, if somebody says they're channeling me, please don't believe them, because I'm not going to be channeled. I don't want to be channeled. What was it? There was a question. Oh yes, no, this was not a question. I would like to say something to this, what Evelyn said, that she is from Venus too. You know what? I hear this a lot. I mean, not only that somebody says he's from Venus or she's from Venus or so, but also I'm from the Pleiadians, I'm from the Arcturians, I feel a connection to whatever. I never heard somebody saying I'm from Jupiter or I'm from Mars or I'm from Saturn. That's interesting, right? Most of the people feel connected to these, to Venus or to Pleiadians, to Orion, to Sirius, and all these kind of systems that we are, or Vega, right? I mean, there are many, many systems that we know of, and some people say they are from here, they are from there. And this is, for example, one thing that I was already asked last time after the last live session, and I would like to go into this for a moment, because a person asked me if I'm from Venus too. And she said she would not dare asking this live in the comments because it is such a intimate question. I was like, well, it's not so intimate, right? I mean, there are questions which could be more intimate that I would probably not answer here. But I explained to her then in the messenger, in chat, that from my perspective and from Omnec's teachings, which are mostly, of course, alike, as you can imagine, we are all souls. And as a soul, we do not have a physical home, because the soul is a spiritual being. The soul is the essence of our true existence. And this is energy. Soul is pure energy. And pure energy does not have a physical origin, because it has a spiritual origin. The origin of soul is the Creator itself, God, if you want, or the Supreme Deity, or in Ekankar they call it Sukmat. There are many names for it: Prime Creator, Source Energy. So what I want to say is that, or what my answer was to that question from her, she said, I said, I am not from Venus, but I'm also not really feeling at home on Earth, because, you know, I'm of course a soul. So my soul, as a soul, I don't have a physical home. And when I'm as a soul living on Earth, feeling connected to some kind of planet or energy system or a solar system or universal system or whatever, I believe that as a soul, I live there, that I have memories of experiences from having lived somewhere else. And when I feel a connection to Venus, I believe that I had lives there. And this is probably one of the reasons why Omnec and I have this strong connection. But you know what? It does not even have to be like that. I mean, of course I can have lived on Venus. It's possible. I don't have concrete memories. My memories are more universal. I know that I have memories as a soul from experiencing way higher societies than we are having now at this moment on Earth. This is, of course, also where our Oasis vision came from maybe many years ago. Maybe you have read about it or so. It's still on the Omnec Onec website, the Oasis project. because we have had this utopia dream, this vision of establishing a place on Earth like the oasis, which would already serve as a connection between the physical system and the physical society and higher dimensions, like where we all want to go or to develop to. So I have these soul memories. I can remember being part of way more developed societies, and but I cannot say that I'm from Venus or that I'm from here, from there. I feel a connection also somehow to something that has to do with the Pleiadians. I had this kind of instantaneous realization once, but I also feel a connection to certain kinds of masters and so on. So the thing is for me to distinguish between I'm from Venus or I'm not from Venus. You know, for me, Omnec is the only one who is really from Venus in a way, because she was physically manifested. She was physically manifesting a body there on Venus, not on Earth. She was not, according to her own autobiography. I always have to say that because I cannot say for sure that this is your truth. This is what she said, and I respect what she says, because I respect her a lot as a soul, and I had never had a reason not to believe what she said, you know, because she said so many things which made so much sense and which were so beautiful and helpful. So, but anyway, she as a soul she said that she manifested a physical body on Venus and that she was brought with her physical body to Earth. So that means that she did not go through the Earth birth process. But I did go through the birth process, and I guess most of us did go through the birth process. So in a way, we are all from Earth, right? But I don't identify with the earthly system. I'm born on Earth. Yeah, that's it. Well, I have a physical body. Okay, my soul is not from Earth, but my soul is not from Venus either. My soul is not from any physical system or planet or so. My soul is from God. And this is, yeah, what we all, I would say, have the purpose or have the mission or the plan to realize, that we are all beautiful, loving souls, that we have the same qualities like the Creator, that we have creative qualities, but not only creating art or music or creating buildings or architecture or something, but with creation here is meant that we are the creators of our own life situations. In a way, we are also the creators of our lives. Because as a soul, we decided to enter a physical body. This way or the other, it doesn't play a role. We decided that we would go through physical existences, to make physical experiences, to grow as a soul through experiences. And the experiences are what are the ones who are valuable. According to Omnec, every experience is valuable. Every experience is worth having it. Every experience. And from that perspective, this is the, so to say, God's perspective. There is no positive and no negative experience. Of course, we can have terrible experiences, painful experiences, but these are all judgments. We can have beautiful experiences, exciting experience, euphoric experience, sensual experiences. These are all terms and opinions and judgments. From the soul perspective, from the God's perspective, every experience is as valuable as another experience. And soul evolution is part, or all making all experiences is part of our soul evolution. And we start to really grow when we stop distinguishing between negative and positive, and when we stop judging and criticizing. When we stop judging and criticizing others, experiences, feelings, thoughts, physical attitudes, physical characteristics. The judging and criticizing comes all from the mind. And this is one of the most important lessons that Omnec brought, is that the people on earth, the most important thing that the people on earth have to learn is to stop judging and criticizing and to start loving and accepting. And if there is just one thing to really remember and to really dive into, this is one of the most important information ever. Because this is something that we are all so extremely, this is the reason why the planet is, the planetary system and everything is the way it is, because of judgment and criticizing. Judging and criticizing. Try to think about it, really. We judge and criticize everything and everybody. And the most important thing is to really start loving. Because love, I mean, this is all, of course, I'm just sharing words, right? It's something that we have to experience. And this goes only through meditation, eventually. This is really what I believe, meanwhile. Because, of course, we can have the feeling, I don't know, probably all of us know how it is to be in love, right? It's something beautiful. It's something really, when you have the heart open, when you are really in love usually with another person or with whatever. And I think that, falling in love is something beautiful because it remembers us, it gives us an idea of how it feels, of how love feels. But it's usually on the earth, it's something so temporary. Usually it is also connected or attached to an emotion. And you know how it is when somebody falls in love, or when you have fallen in love or something, it's usually something that is, really something maybe for a couple of days, weeks, or maybe even months. And then it changes again. And then something happens, you know, people sometimes they fall in love, they make love, and then they have babies, and then they start having houses and money and everything, and then problems come and they start hating each other. So where did the love go? It's a big subject, love, but this is one of the most important subjects when it comes to Omnec's teachings, is really to learn to realize unconditional love. And she said that when we really have experienced all kinds of love, platonic love, physical love, sensual love, love to a child, love to a partner, and all the other emotions, the not loving anymore, or the not wanting, or the hating and everything, when we start seeing that all these emotions or these feelings are part of our existence and part of our soul evolution, of our evolution, then we raise ourselves higher. Then we can really start seeing everything from the God's perspective. And that means to love just because you love, and not because somebody is pretty, somebody is rich, somebody is this or that, or because somebody is your physical child, somebody is your cat. Not because, or somebody is your cat, yeah. Yeah, like Garfield also. Well, you know, I think you know what I mean, right? Unconditional love means from loving from the God perspective, from a holistic perspective. That means I love myself and all that is, and eventually all that is and myself is one. But this is then when I really have this overview, right? Then I come to that consciousness. But I can really begin with loving everything the way it is, accepting everything the way it is. It's much even easier than loving the way it is, right? And yeah, one of my favorite meditation techniques, meanwhile, it's not a technique, it's really the realization that the words I am are creative words. I am. And this I is not the ego I. This I is the soul, is the I connection between my soul, between my heart and the Creator. And am, so to say, is the power of realization. Just in short terms, just how I feel it at this moment, because it makes sense to me to use these words consciously. So when you think about it, in case you don't know the I am words yet, you know, of course in Deutsch we say ich bin. There are these I am teachings shared by many teachers. For example, Peter Manchester and the Ascended Master Saint Germain brought the I am teachings. They are beautiful books which really make clear and help people understand that, I'm sorry. What it's all about with these I am terms, I am words. So the I am means manifesting something special, realizing something. And so to make it really simple, when you say I am love, you start connecting yourself with the consciousness of love. And this is something for very beautiful and very simple meditation, to really go into this silence and realizing, saying to myself, I am love, I am light, or I am God. It's possible that you have resistance in the beginning when you say this to yourself. But in the end, it is something that is very valuable and very simple, because it helps realize and it helps to create the connection between myself, my personality, and my Creator, my soul, who I truly am. I am. I can also say I am soul, or I am love. And your cells, you will feel that after a while, or maybe instantaneously, your cells start to glow. When you really fill yourself with this consciousness and you say to yourself, I am light, I am love, it is a manifestation that goes inwards. It manifests in your consciousness and then in the cells, in the physical cells, and they start healing, bringing themselves back into the original order, the way they are supposed to be. Because the consciousness of I am and I am love and I am light is also a healing energy, because this helps to organize everything. You know, the whole universe is perfectly organized. The whole universe is absolutely in order. It's only our mental, our way of thinking, our judgmental and criticizing way of thinking that creates chaos and that creates imbalance and everything. But in the end, when you look at everything from a higher perspective, from a God perspective, everything is in perfect order. So when you start connecting to this higher perspective consciously by saying, I am love, I am light, you start inviting this power of healing and of bringing everything in order. Of course, it can take a while. It does not have to have an instant impact or a miraculous, instantaneous solution to everything. But things start to fall into place. After a while, you will see and realize that all the information that are important for you, that they come, that everything that is not part of your life anymore or that is meant to go away, that it disappears, that it goes away, or you find the strength to let go of it. It is a healing power to say to yourself, I am. I am that I am. I would like to say goodbye. It was a very interesting, a little bit wobbly beginning, and I hope that you profit from this, that it was beneficial for you, and I hope to receive your comments and your questions. You can also send me an email to contact@omnec-onec.com. I also offer private sessions per Skype or Zoom for those who would like to speak one-to-one with me. Yeah. So I thank you very much for participating, and I'm sending you my love and my gratitude. May the blessings be. Bye-bye.